Hi everyone, and welcome back to my channel and welcome to today's video. Today we're finally going to talk about law school visits and everything that you need to know and what you should pay attention to. I am so sorry that I'm making this video so late. Life just started to happen and I didn't get around to it. But with that being said, I am much more active on TikTok because I was able to download it again. So if you do want to see like more active content, more active like JD Next law school content, videos, whatever, follow me on TikTok. Also, if you have any questions, please reach out to me. I really mean it. I'm here to help. And since we're on the topic, I want to thank everybody that's messaged me and that has been vulnerable with me, that has trusted me with their stories and their situations. I know it's not easy to talk about, low LSAT scores or whatever the situation is, but I'm so thankful that you all trust me with, your situation. And I also am thankful that you resonate with me. I am by no means like the perfect law school applicant, but, the JD Next was my pathway to law school. And I really hope that if you're struggling with the LSAT, that it could be yours as well. So that's the whole reason why I started posting these videos. Again, there's just so much negative conversations about this JD Next that I wanted to be the other person on the other side of the story, right? So without getting more into it, let's talk about law school visits. So if you want to see like more like videos or whatnot, go to my TikTok. I did post like 3 videos on law school visits, but I'm going to talk about the law schools that I went to go visit, but most importantly, the questions you should be asking, what you should be paying attention to, the energy, the vibes, like let's talk about it. So I went to go visit 5 different law schools. I went to Pittsburgh first, then I went to New York where I visited Cardozo and Fordham, then I went to Boston where I visited New England Law and Suffolk. So it was like a whole week trip. I know not everybody can take a week off their life or off work and go visit, and I know that it can be very expensive. So I'm keeping that into consideration, but I do think that if you are going to pick up your life and move for the next 3 years somewhere, that you should really make an effort, if time and money allows it, that you go to these law schools, because I'm just going to say it out loud. I thought a certain law school was going to be my top choice, my favorite. And once I actually got there, I was like, oh, okay, like not true at all, right? So I think it's really important that you are able to get like a real experience there, because the truth of the factor is like you might go visit a law school once and you fall in love and you're not going to be there until you start school in August. So I think you need to really be sure in your choice. Also, I know that there's like so many factors that play a role into this, like scholarship money, if you're married or if you have a partner or children. Like I get that completely. I'm just talking through my experience as, a first generation Latina who does not have kids, who is not married, and who is actually kind of excited to move away from home. But that's a conversation for another time. So yeah, let's start off by talking about, in order, just how I visited school. So my first stop was Pittsburgh, and it was amazing. I absolutely fell in love with the law school itself, and I fell in love with the faculty, and I really liked everyone that I interacted with there. Our tour guide, she was really funny, she was really nice, and she was just really honest with us, which I thought was really amazing. I will say that the event that I went to was like for admitted students, so I do think that it was more tailored to like engage us and to really show us like, like they cleaned up. They cleaned up when we went there. It's not like a busy day that, like we wouldn't normally, how do I say it? Well, yeah, I guess it's just like they cleaned up, right? Like when you have guests over, you are your best. Versus if they were to drop on a random day, then they might see the mess you had, right? I guess that's what I'm trying to say. But off the bat, we sat down in class. We saw how some people were being cold called. Then we had like a mini discussion with the faculty. There was so many other students there. Some of them were admitted students. Others were just, they had like a tour that day. And then we did a whole tour of the law school. For me, I was like, okay, obviously I'm just that girl. I'm like, oh, the aesthetic, like the aesthetic of the law school. What's the vibe of the law school? I know that's silly, but to me, like, to me, it's kind of important. So the law school in itself was beautiful. It's very modern, and then I focused on the faculty. So this is kind of where like being first gen kind of sucks because I don't know how much I will be interacting with the faculty, but I have heard that in law school it's very different than like undergrad. So I think I was keeping that in mind, and they were answering every single question. They were so engaging. They really walked us through like every, scenario and what to expect, and just telling us about the possibilities of, all the law school. I will say, I didn't have much questions while I was there, but I was listening to everyone else's questions and, taking in what they were saying. So I guess that's like my tip is if you don't have questions or you don't know what to ask because you're a first gen like me, or you just are too nervous or shy to ask a question, make sure you're listening to everyone else's questions because that could be an answer for you. Um, Something that I really paid attention to because I am a first gen Latina is the diversity on, in the law school. Um, for me, that's something really important, especially because I'm moving. Well, I live in a very highly dense Latino population. Like Arizona is very, we're all Latinos here. We could all speak Spanish. So to me, it's really important to be able to find community once I do leave and start law school. So that's something that I took into consideration as well. But other than that, that's kind of really what I paid attention to. I wasn't really focused on like how do I say it? Like, oh, what can you do outside of law school? Because for me, like going to law school is a priority and everything else will fall second to that. But I know that that's really important to some people is kind of like, what is there to do? Social life, work, is the area safe, all that stuff. Once again, I mean, I obviously care about safety, but for me, I'm more interested and more, not the word interested, but I'm more worried about like actually going to a good law school where it's going to be a good fit for me. So I didn't think about any of that. That's coming second to my education, but I'm sure I'll learn. I'll learn quickly here. So that is kind of how Pittsburgh went. I went to New York. I was waitlisted at Cardozo Law, so I kind of just went to, for them to be like, oh, she's really interested. She came to visit law school, but also just to get a sense of, how the law school is if I were to get off the wait list because I am like in love with New York. And in my mind, I wanted to go to New York to law schools really, really badly. So that's also why I went. But I will say, after touring the law school, I was just kind of like, okay, again, me being like the aesthetic girl that I am, not the prettiest law school, but it's in New York. And also, I'm thinking about, I was waitlisted here, so what is the reality that if I get off the waitlist, I'll be given some scholarship money because New York is one of the most expensive places to be. So, yeah, Cardozo was fine. Our tour guide was Latino and he spoke Spanish and he is going to do big law, tax law, like kudos to him. It's really awesome to see people like me in those positions and, just talking to like the people that give tours, you even like learn about different like sectors of the law that you can go into, right? Like you didn't even realize that that was a thing and then you talk to these different people. They talk a lot about like mock trial and like all the clubs you can get into and I think that's really cool. Again, as a first gen, I don't know about much of that stuff, so getting my feet wet was really really like fun to know that even like for example like Cardozo Law sometimes they go to Pittsburgh to do like competitions against each other. So I think that's really cool too. Like even though if I didn't go to that law school, there's still like that little like chip on my shoulder like ooh, I chose this law school but I was waitlisted at that law school. Like that could have been my life there. You know what I mean? Like so I think that was really cool. But overall, I it's kind of like a delicate line, but I do not get too excited about the schools that I'm waitlisted at just because I want to be realistic. But at the same time, I wanted to get a taste because that's what I really wanted was to go to law school in New York. So, it's kind of like a reality check. I then went to Fordham Law, and that campus was beautiful on a good side of town. Um, or the city. Haha. Oops, sorry, but I don't even know. But it was a really beautiful law school. I will say the moment that I was around it, I started to have like a little like imposter syndrome because some of these people that go to this law school, and this is me making assumptions, but holy crap, did they look like wealthy? Like not even rich, just wealthy. And I was like, I am in the wrong place right now. Um, but yeah, the law school is beautiful, very modern, has so much to offer. It was so exciting to be in that law school, and I really was hoping that I would be accepted to Fordham, but I wasn't. I was rejected. That's okay. Um, but again, I think it's really important to visit law schools because it's all about like you and if you're gonna fit in that law school. You know, if the city pays, and it seemed like it was competitive there, like having really hard competition, and you know, being in that kind of environment isn't for you, then you would be able to rule out Fordham right away. So again, just paying attention to other people's questions and the vibes, you know, paying attention to like who you'd be interacting with. Yeah. The tour guide for Fordham was really amazing too. He was hilarious. Um, really funny. I forgot his name, but he was really funny. So then I went to Boston, and Boston was actually two of the schools that I was accepted into, so New England Law and Suffolk Law. And I'll just say one of the schools in Boston was my top choice on paper, right? Like when I applied and when I got my decisions back, I was like, oh my gosh, like this is my top choice. I want to go to Boston. I want to live in Boston. This law school is like where I want to go. It was my top choice in my mind. Once I got there though, it changed and it bumped down to my second choice. Like it didn't go like completely out of, direction, but it still bumped down. And that's why I'm saying I think it's really important for you to visit law schools in person and really get a sense before you make a decision, if possible, if you can. So yeah, one of the law schools was very busy, a lot of diversity, which is something that I'm really looking into. But for me, it just wasn't like my top choice. Even though they gave me the most scholarship money, I was like, I could see myself here. And let me say that too. Like, I'm a firm believer that whatever you decide, you're going to be okay, right? Like, you can decide route A or route B. Like, it's going to be two different life trajectories, but at the end of the day, you're going to be okay. So, with that being said, any law school that I would go to, I think I would be able to, you know, be successful and, go through it. But is it what I really want? Well, after visiting, no, right? So, yeah, one of the law schools was more loud. There's a lot going on, a lot of people coming in and out, really loud. And then I went to the second law school. The second law school was more of that like, ooh, this is like a traditional law school. Again, in my mind, like the aesthetics of it, like I would love to go to that law school just to take pictures and be like, yeah, I'm studying from here. Like this is my view today. Like, which I know is not what law school is about, but I'm all about romanticizing my future life. So let me be. But yeah, I think that when I toured Suffolk Law, I was really like, okay, this law school is beautiful. But I will say that our tour guide, she was so flat. Like, she kind of made the experience a little unpleasant, if I'm being honest. Like, she just had like a very weird energy to her. And I wanted to love the law school more, but she honestly kind of just made the experience like I don't know what other word to use in flat. And it's really hard to like not take that into consideration. But also, like I said, you need to trust your gut and you need to trust the energy. And for me, that was something that was like a little bit off. And I know that that's like not a reflection of the law school at all, but I do think that it left like a little bit of like a nasty taste in my mouth, if that makes sense. Yeah, nothing against her. I just didn't like her style and like her personality, and I didn't feel like she was excited to give the tour and to be there. And I think that in turn, my dog, I think that in turn didn't make the law school seem like a good place to be. But I could be wrong. That could just be me, honestly. But yeah, Suffolk Law was beautiful. I love the campus. They, again, looks like a very competitive place to be. They offer a lot, very modern, yet also like traditional law school vibes, but it was amazing. So, with all that being said, I thought that a law school in Boston was going to be my top choice, but actually it turned out to be the law school in Pittsburgh. And I, as of right now, am going to go to law school in Pittsburgh. I have already paid my deposit for the law school in Pittsburgh, and I let both of the other schools know thank you, but no thank you. Um, and yeah, it feels really good that I feel very content with the decision that I made. And honestly, like my gut is telling me that this is the school for me. I think even the moment that I left, I think I felt it. I went to visit the law school with my boyfriend. He felt it and he told me like, "No, Pittsburgh is where you belong. Like this is the school for you." So, that was really neat. I actually got 2 waitlist literally like a few days ago, like in May. So if you're watching this video and you haven't gotten any responses from schools or you're still waiting to hear back, like please know that the responses are still coming. I think I literally got a response, like one of them on Monday, Cinco de Mayo, and then I got another one like the 1st of May. So there's still some schools coming through. But with that being said, I didn't tour any of the schools that I was waitlisted at. Maybe I should. I'm thinking. But I'm really happy with the school that I picked right now. I think the only thing that would be like very like, what's the word I'm looking for? I think the only thing that would sway me is if I got off the wait list at a school and it came with higher scholarship money. I don't know if that's possible. Again, I'm a first gen. I don't know. I don't know anything. I don't know what I don't know. So, yeah. What was I gonna say? Let's recap. So, for me, the most important thing when you're visiting these law schools is to trust your gut and take in the vibes, take in everything around you, and ask yourself, can I be here for the next 3 years of my life? Obviously, yes, there's different things that you have to consider: scholarship money, where it is located, you know, all that stuff. But I'm just telling you all from my perspective as a first gen Latina, not married, no kids. Like this is just true, my truth, right? What I was looking for. I think another thing that I took into consideration strongly was faculty and my interaction with the faculty. Again, I understand that when I went to go visit one law school, it was kind of like an event where they were really tailored to us. But I do think that maybe when I went on other law school visits, like, was it really hard for a faculty member to come out and be like, hi, if you have any questions, come meet with me, like, blah, 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 blah. Like, I don't think so. I also making assumptions. I don't know how busy these people are, but I think it would have been nice. I didn't get that treatment at a lot of other law schools. I think I only met school faculty at like 3 out of the 5 law schools, and those were the law schools that I actually liked more. So, for example, we met the people that was in charge of the clinics at Fordham. I liked Fordham. We met the faculty at Pittsburgh. I loved Pittsburgh. And we met faculty at New England Law in Boston, and that was amazing. Like, they made me feel like, they were going to actually care about me if I went to that law school versus the other law schools that I didn't have any interaction with the faculty. It was kind of just like okay, like I could be here, but, like it wasn't that strong of a connection. So I would say take into consideration faculty because to what I hear, once again, I'm a first gen, I don't know, but to what I hear, so they're going to play a very important role in your success in law school, especially because, they already make your schedule for 1L, and then you have to meet with them and all that good stuff. So that's my second thing I would recommend. And my third thing is to ask questions. Ask questions and listen to other people's questions. No question is a silly question, especially if you're a first gen. Other people might look at you funny or whatever, but they're not probably in the same situation as you. So don't be scared to ask questions. Don't be scared to get your answers. I also asked my tour guides like so many questions, and they're lost students themselves, right? Like they get it, and most of them, for the most part, are helpful. So I think that is all I have for the law school visits. Once again, if you want to see like videos or whatever I took, go on my TikTok. And yeah, so let's talk a little bit more about like how this cycle has gone for me, just because I already just told you where I'm going to go to law school. As of right now, I'm going to go to Pittsburgh, the University of Pittsburgh, and I'm very, very excited. I am going to go look for apartments next month, and hopefully I'll sign a lease and I'll find the perfect place for me and my little doggy. She's over there sleeping. Like I said, I did not have the highest of stats. And this law school cycle was one of the toughest law school cycles. Like, I am honestly so proud of myself. I can't even believe it. And I did this with a JD Next score. Like, all the people that have been talking down on it, like, then what the heck am I? I mean, I could be the outlier. Quien sabe, honestly, quien sabe. Yeah, so that is today's video. I am going to make another video, hopefully by next week, where I want to talk about my first gen experience and the emotional toll that it has taken on me and the fights that it's caused between me and my family, and kind of just the emotional turmoil that I've been through, because I don't see much people talking about it. It might just be a me thing, maybe there's not people that go through this with their families, but I did. So I want to talk a little bit about that and just share a hurdle or a barrier that I encountered that I didn't think I was going to. I thought my family was going to be over the moon that I was going to become the first attorney in our family. I thought my family was going to throw me a party with butterflies and rainbows and fireworks and cake, and that was not at all the reaction that I had. So yeah, we'll talk about that hopefully in the next video. And again, if you have any questions or anything else that you want me to talk about, go ahead and let me know. Leave a comment, follow me on social media, ask me a personal question on social media. I am here for you. So thank you for watching today's video, and thank you for all the support. I'll see you all soon.